back once again. Another weekend. We're coming back. We think we just released a new episode. Either way, we're working on the car. We're doing more little things to make it ready. Like, we have been working some of the stuff we didn't record. I just wanted to try out panel board for the package tray and behind the rear seat. Now, I had the rear seat, so I made the template. But the package tray I had gotten rid of. So we made a new one of those. We made that. Now we've still got to weight it down on the top and cut out where the speakers go. We're going to put speakers on the package tray. Some other things that we're just going to do today, at least for this quick weekend, is we went to put the license plates on. The front mount was completely banged up, so we redid that one. Another thing we're having an issue with is this rear tire keeps losing air. So we're going to take it off and see if we can't figure out why it's leaking. The rest of them seem fine. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the hood, take the motor mount off the driver's side, put the new one on. We still haven't did that. And then we're going to fuse link the ammeter bypass. And one thing I did do is the original radio, which is a Chrysler solid state. I opened it up. It doesn't look burnt, doesn't look bad, but the speaker wires were burnt and bad. So we're going to chop those off, put new ones on, and see if it'll connect to the speaker that's in the car. And we already have the original plug wired up because we didn't know if we were going to use it. So we're going to test that stuff. And another thing we're going to do is we picked up a... where is it? I don't know what I do with it. We're going to try to order some more of this and put it on the package tray. And I did see people putting it on the back of the rear seat, like cardboard that they put in there. So for this weekend, we're just going to do a bunch of little things, try to get more work done. So let's get back to it, and then we'll come back with anything we got to do. I think we're going to show the motor mount being put in, but that's about it. So hope you guys keep watching. Let me know if there's something we need to do or something that I missed on a prior video that I said I would do and we didn't. But the car's really getting put together. The biggest thing I can't stress enough with this is take pictures of everything. Label everything with a Sharpie and a sandwich bag. If I had to did that, it would be a complete and utter mess. Right now the car's back together because I took 100 pictures of everything. These videos themselves helped a ton, so I could go back and watch stuff. And labeling everything made it 10 times easier to put everything back together. So let's get to work. Let's get the license plates mounted. And let's get that tire fixed. Let's get the ammeter going. So hope you guys keep watching. Hey, we're back with a little update. So we did everything we said we were going to do. The driver's or passenger side rear tire does have a slow leak around the bead. We unseated it, reseated it, but before we did that, we just wiped everything down to make sure there wasn't something in there like a rock or anything. We've got our driver's side motor mount. We just lifted it up on the tab there. What we're going to do now is install the fuses. So the relay here, the red wire goes to the dash for the ammeter. And the black one on the back of the alternator also goes. We're just going to put a fuse on the side of the alternator going in, and then that should, in sense, be enough. So we're just going to put the fuse on the black one from the alternator. I think we're going to go 30 or 50 amp, and then we're going to keep some with us as well. A good thing with the fuse is if I'm going to put it in there, I'm also going to keep hopefully a little bit of length and some connectors and some electrical tape, so if an issue ever does arise where it burns through the wire and not just the fuse, we can replace it and keep driving. Never hurts to keep some extra wire in your cars. But we're going to do the fusible link now, and the fuse, not fusible link, I apologize. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to, I think we're going to go back to the license plate light. When I put it on, all I did was stick the wire through because I didn't have, I think I was missing the bulb receptacle. So I'm pretty sure I bought one. I'm not 100%, I'll have to look. Another thing that I need to replace for a bulb is not a bulb, it's the sending unit. The sending unit wire is ran back. I just have to connect it. Haven't did that yet. So let's get to all that. Other than that, we've got our license plates fully installed, and we're gonna, for the videos, we're gonna kind of segment them a bit to 2 weeks. So hopefully it'll offer a little more substance to these videos, because the stuff we're doing now has to be done on a car when you take it fully apart, and putting in the interior wasn't the funnest stuff to do even for me, but thankfully I took a ton of pictures of everything before I took everything apart. Heck, even go through it with a video camera like I did in episode 1, I think it was. But take photos, label everything you take apart. One thing I am learning about the car that we need to do is it does need a new deck lid, and the only thing they sell is fiberglass, but it probably wouldn't hurt to get a trunk floor in this car. So the trunk has a bunch of pinholes, and the deck lid, the entire bar was rusted, and when you'd go to open it, it would keep the latch if it was sticky, and you'd lift up the skin. So we need, in the long run, a deck lid, but I don't want to do that because then we lose our patina, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do. And trunk floors, it just needs, because the water from that deck lid must have hit down there, or it's that bad seam sealer. But what we did to it is we're going to pour it. We did pour most of it. I was going to weld it, but that pour 15 is terrible to get off. It gums up all flap discs, so you have to use an actual wire wheel, and I'm actually out, so we couldn't do the welding. So we're going to do our best to patch it, but in the long run it needs extensions and a trunk. Now it's something that we can do. It's not that hard. I mean, we just did the floors. It's just a lot of work, and it's not the funnest work. And trunk wouldn't be terrible. I'm just not 100% on chargers. You have to take off a quarter or the tail panel to get a full trunk in. I did half floors. That's a lot of welding. It's a lot of extra welding. A trigger actually went on in the welder. So I guess we'll have to do some measuring on the duster and even see if they sell them. I don't know if they sell them because they don't sell metal deck lids. So eventually in the long run, a trunk pan would be nice. I honestly don't like the tire cutouts around. I'd kind of like to delete on that by, if I had to, sectioning it into a square. But appreciate you guys following along. This clip will be with the video of hopefully next week or the week after, because videos are going to slow down. So I'm going to get back to work, and we'll catch you up on everything we did in the meantime. And this car's really close to driving. I mean, fuel line, fix the speedometer, and fix some leaks on the tranny, and the shifter shafts are leaking, so it's a little O-ring. There isn't a ton left to do on this car. So what I'm going to do is go through, put my fuse in, and then I'm going to go through the bolts on the car. When I was taking the motor mount off, it wasn't loose, but it just made me remember it would suck to lose something while driving. So I'm going to just, all bolts, all cotter pins, we're going to check them over real quick. And in time, hopefully we'll have the lift so we can make the fuel line. And it's going to be a metal fuel line. It's not going to be rubber hose, because we want the car to last. We didn't put all this time into this car just to cheap out and do stuff half-assed in that sense. So we'll get you guys back up on the next video. Ignore my rant and raving, but have a good one, guys. Hope you tune in for the next ones. Hey everyone, we're back for another weekend of working. It's a Saturday now. We went out and bought a few more things that I just didn't like with the car that we'd had at the time. New battery cable for the negative. We bought the seal for the box to the cowl in the interior. And to finish up our weather stripping, which is the last piece, is the trunk. We bought Black Super weather stripping 3M. And I know it had some kind of black stuff on it, but took the old one off. We've treated, the parts that are just a wee bit rusty. Kind of would like to mask it and paint, but for now we're going to clean it one more time and put on the new trunk gasket. So I guess one thing we did do that I wasn't proud of, but we're going to have to do it until we can actually, I want to drive the car. I'm tired of tearing into it. We just covered the holes. Now it's not permanent. The only thing I would recommend is when I used pour 15, don't use a sander. If you get a hard bristle brush for an angle grinder, it takes that pour stuff off, but a grinder, you're wrecking your sanding discs because it's like a rubberized material, and it does not pick up, so you can't weld. Other than that, the car does need a trunk. I mean, it's just this little center part, but at the same time, I'd almost just take the entire trunk, get new extensions, and then be done with it. Because it's obviously where the quarters are rusted on the outside is the same part for that trunk extension, so it's either rebuild those, and they're not very expensive, or buy 2 new ones and get a whole new trunk, and then just be done with it for, you know, put pour on it, and then if you believe their marketing, it should last forever. But for now, we just did a very repair that I'm not super proud of, but we don't want to spend any more money till we're driving the car. So today, what we're going to do is put on a new air filter, put on this weather stripping. We are going to cut the holes for the speaker on the package tray, part that we just purchased or made. Then we're going to try to track down some vinyl to put on the package tray, just so it's kind of looking like the interior, or we will paint it black. I don't know, not 100% yet. But we are also going to lift up the carpeting that we just put down, and we are going to run wires for the 2 new speakers that we are going to put on the package tray. We are going to put in the old radio, wire it up to see if it actually works, and all I'm going to do is on the plug for in the car, I'm just going to go up, put a female plug in with an adapter, so you can just still use the original plug if the radio actually works. You know, you want to have it there, it'll be there. So it won't have power going to the plug. The power will still go to the red wire, but it's going to be disconnectable. And we're going to solder, heat shrink, all that stuff for it so it's safe. Other than that, let's get going on this weekend. It's not going to be the longest weekend, so I want to get to work. So we're just going to rush into it and start doing our work. I think we're going to bring you guys along for putting on the weather stripping on the trunk. It's not a hard thing. People need to do it more often on these cars, because you buy these cars and the weather stripping was never changed because it either, one, wasn't offered at the time, or people just didn't want to change it because they didn't think much of it. They need to be changed on these cars. A lot of rust under them. Water can get in, it makes it worse. Just change them. For the $200 you're going to spend for a full kit, change them. Just change them. It's not hard work, so we're going to just, to me, I think this trunk one's going to be the worst just because we're using an actual tack. So we're going to go through changing that one, and that's about it. So if you guys follow along, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It means a lot to me for what we could do with going around and getting a little bigger. So appreciate it, guys. Follow along. Alright, I'm just going to show you guys a little. So this has a flat side and an upside. Now looking at my old one, you can see the paint on the flat side from the top. So you're going to want to, at least on my car, start at center here. So you're just going to put it just like that. Alright, so I guess the biggest thing is we're going to put flat side down, because if you look at it, quite the groove. That's going to be the top, that's the bottom. All I've did is run it along. It is a little long, so I need to get a razor blade for when it comes, so I'm ready. And I'm just going to start gluing and going as I do. So we're going to cut back in a video and we'll bring you guys back around. So we put it on. I don't know if this will be the best idea or the worst because it's got fresh, adhesive, but we closed the trunk. Biggest thing with putting it on that I saw was do a little at a time, push, hold it. Or you could possibly just put all of it on at once, or a little more than I did, and then when it tacks up, wait a couple of minutes and then put the gasket on. But I liked it little at a time, move, hold, move, hold. It took a little longer, but it looks fine. So we're gonna let it sit for 30 minutes. And in between those 30 minutes, we are going to pop the hood. And where the air cleaner bolts to the carburetor on these, I don't like them because it's, I think the one that's on there is stripped. It's supposed to have like a different shape, but it's pretty wallered out where the bolt just spins freely where it's held. So I think we're gonna take that off, just give it a little tack, or see if we can grind it and make it another shape. But we're gonna put the air cleaner on and change the battery cable. Now these aren't the funnest things, but they're little things on the car that have to be done, like thinking on my head, I still have to finish a little bit of wiring. The parking brake needs to go back on, which is mainly the cable underneath the car. And it's just these little things that really kind of bore you out on the cars. It's a lot of fun taking it apart, funnest part of it, cheapest part too. But putting it back together, now we've got to button up little things that at the time were nice to take apart for stuff I was doing. It was nice to get that cable out of there, take the whole parking brake system off when I was cutting the floor so I didn't damage it. But now it's, why do I want to put it back on? It's just a pain. But we're going to do it anyway. We want the car to be safe. It doesn't need to be the best thing in the world. It's fun. This car's ratty. It's ratchet. Well, let's get back to it. Let's get the air filter. Let's get the battery cable. See if we can find a better way to route that battery cable. It kind of scares me. It's next to the fan. So we'll catch you guys back up and just kind of go through what we're going to do. Hey, coming back, little update what we're gonna do. We do have the car on the lift. I guess big thing with the lift, safety precaution. Check your stuff every time. So what we're gonna do today, or right now, drain the tranny. We've got our old speedometer cable, the original. It has a different clip on the 3-speed than it does the 4-speed when we bought. So we are going to take the new one out that I have in, which now that I think about it, the car's gotta come down so I can take it off there. We're gonna see precaution, just you have to check the speedometer cables. This one was a Valère. The Duster is what we're putting it in. Didn't really check it. I'll show you. This is like a retaining little brass clip that fits to the housing to the back of the dash. The new one that I ordered for the Valère, which is what that tranny and engine are from, is bigger than this Duster original, so it doesn't fit all the way down in that plastic cap. Now, to fix it, we're either going to take this original cable, this centerpiece that just pops out, and put it in the new one, and we'll end up probably cutting this plastic housing if it's a little too long, and we'll go from there. Another part we have out is the brake line cable. We've got everything in place to put it back here and here, and then if I'm correct, it was a hard to see up under here. Let me find that flashlight. There was a hole somewhere on this cross member. I think it was this one right here. So a little bar comes out and it just attaches to that. And it just kind of throws the cable back both ways. As in, these sections have a little mounting piece that are going to go to the back. This thing right here is where that bar goes. And then it just acts as a pulley, so when you press it, it pulls both at the same time. So we're going to put that back together and make sure it works. And from there, we'll come back with a little update. So let's pull speedometer. We're going to order shift shaft seals. The reverse is leaking a little bit, as you can tell. Speedometer cable, look at the seals. Put the parking brake on. So that's what we're going to do. Catch you guys back up when we get some progress going. Hi, we're back. A little update. We got the parking brake. We actually fixed our speedometer cable. We didn't cut anything. What we ended up doing is just taking the little ball to the grinder and getting it to work. I don't think it was actually just me actually fully seating it and turning it until it goes in. I guess it's got I don't guess, I know it's got some little grooves on it and you got to kind of turn it and push it in. So we spun the tires, spinning the cable now. I guess the only issue between the 44 and the 73 when you do that swap, the cable's about an extra foot longer, maybe foot and a half. So it's going to look a little, under the hood could be something that we don't like to see, but we kept the old one, kept everything. Another thing we did is we made the fuel line, and we haven't connected it with little rubber hose to the tank or two at the engine, but we got a hard line running good portion of the car. First time I've ever made brake line, so we're going to show it here probably next episode. Be gentle. Other than that, for the car, one big thing we are going to do is, I believe this next time we're going to be taking off this. No, we're going to take off both fenders. This one because it's got some rust we can repair. That one because it's got a dent we need to pop out the front. And then we are going to take this old sealant out of the window channel here. We're going to put new in just because it's cracked, it's old, it's weathered. Put enough time into the car that we actually want to have it last. Other than that, in the next episode we are going to throw in the dash finally. So when the dash goes in, that could bring a whole nother plethora of problems because a lot of lights in there. I'm not 100% if the headlights work. I don't think I ever took out the switch off the dash and just plugged it in, but we're gonna go for it. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Just let me know. Share the videos. It would be nice to have just a bigger uptake on what's going on and what people want to see. So stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to get a lot of work done that episode. That episode's probably going to take a couple weekends, so don't expect it right away, at least after this one is posted. So we're going to get back to it. We're not going to stop till the car's ready to go. We have quite a few extra other parts on order now, so it's going to be pretty nice to have some parts that we can put on and stuff we wanted to do since we got the car. So hope you guys keep watching. Like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Have a good one, guys.